Court is on. Good evening, everyone. For those on the phone, you need to star 6 to mute or unmute and star 9 to raise your hand or lower your hand. We are kindly asking everyone, please stay muted unless you are speaking. Give common courtesy to those that are, because there's a lot of background noise, and if needed, I will have to mute people and so forth. So thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Ralph. And before we go and start the meeting, I would like, hello? I would like, before Yvonne does the roll call, I'd like to take a moment of silence for the lady that died at the fire on Fox Street, 77 years old. I'd like to take a moment of silence for the 2 officers that died in Harlem, and also the 17 who have died in the Fremont fire. So with that, can you please give me a moment of silence, please? Thank you. Thank you very much. With that, hold on a second. Let me make this bigger. We would start with the public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience that has any issues concerning the anything in Community Board 2, or housing issues or anything of that nature?
Mr. Chairman, the office did not receive any complaints, for the public hearing, but I do see Paula Fields has her hand raised.
Okay, Paula?
Yes, I have a complaint about the enormous amount of traffic that's in the district. It is absolutely horrendous and outrageous. And we should either have some traffic officers at Westchester and Whitlock and Bruckner and Southern Boulevard. Somebody should come up with a resolution how to make it to a minimum, because it is outrageous. It took me an hour and 10 minutes to get from Isabel Avenue on the number 4 bus to Bryant and Westchester. An hour and 15 minutes. I could have got off the bus and walked 3 times. Thank you.
You're correct on that, Paula, and I think that that's something that the district manager and I are going to have to discuss probably tomorrow or Friday, because it's getting worse, and it's not only there, but it's also on Tiffany and Bruckner, as well as El Barreto. So
Yeah, Paula and Mr. Chair, I'm setting up a meeting with State DOT to give us a walkthrough, and it's probably going to go through the municipality committee. So we're going to invite at least the municipality committee members to attend.
Could it be in the evening like you did when they was trying to put the select bus on the line? Because that's when the traffic is really.
Yeah. We could do it during rush hours.
Okay, thank you.
I'll request that. So, but I am already working on that, and to be quite frank, I think the council member Salamanca is assisting me with that also. So, I'll let you know about that. Next up, thank you, Paula.
Thank
you. Up is Julia. Julia Cruz has her hand raised.
Yes, Julie.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. I just wanted to bring up the number of stolen cars and the number of people parking with placards. My understanding is that these placards are being stolen, and cars are being stolen. They're just being left mostly on Beck and Intervale. So Sergeant Guglielmo worked with me, and we got rid of a few of them. But it seems to be a problem that's growing in the community. So keep an eye out for these. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. And you're
Yeah.
right. They are. And I think that the district manager is working on something with the police department on that.
Well, yeah, that's also an issue with the paper plates. It's an initiative that I know Captain Masia has taken a full heart with. Um, Maybe during their 28-day stat now they can provide something, but if not, I think that's something for the precinct council also. So I think they meet next week. Certainly bring it to their attention then, Judy. I'll bring it up. That's not a problem.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is Larry Robinson has his hand raised.
Yes, Larry. Larry?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
My complaint is still about the 6th bus, the express bus, leaving from Yankee Stadium area and come to our area. Today I walked from the Prospect train station straight down to the 6th bus by Intervale Avenue, where the laundromat is at.
Mhm.
And the monitors are not working. They're not telling us the time that we have to wait for a bus to get there, rather it's a local 6 or express 6. We're not seeing the time on both sides, even across, I think you pronounce it Morana, restaurant across the street from the laundromat. There's no indication. Then when you get up to where we're at by Hunts Point, 163rd Street by the McDonald on the corner by Bruckner, there's no signals or nothing is showing where the time of the bus arrival will show up. I brought it to Ralph's attention, MTA or New York City Transit Authority gave us a runaround, but you just got to ride by there in the daytime, nighttime, evening time, or walk by. You see that we have no indication when our buses are arriving. It's not fair to us.
Larry, thank you for bringing that up. And you know, I did bring it to MTA's attention. There was some follow up because you started mentioning other locations. They wanted to know those exact locations. So let's follow back up with them with that. But I'll reach back out to the MTA liaison for the community boards, make them aware that it was brought up at my public hearing, and I'll follow back up with you with that. But you did tell me about this. I guess it was like 2 weeks ago.
That's correct.
And, yeah, and
Okay.
you saw their answer. I know because I included you in the response.
I saw the answer. Yeah. Okay.
But then
All
there was
right.
some questions there that they wanted from you. So let's follow up with them. But I'll retouch it. I'll do it either later on tonight during the meeting, or I'll get it in the morning. Okay. Thank you for bringing it back to my attention that they're still not working, because you see their response was not that they were clueless, but they claimed that it was working. So we'll double check, because there's the time on the actual bus stations, right? At the
Yes.
bus stop. And then they wanted to know because there's an app also that you can download, their MTA app, and it'll give you the arrival time of where you at and the bus. So they confirmed that both were working on their end. I'm going to request that they actually do like a site visit and inspect it that way.
Yeah. Physically. Okay.
Thank you.
I have a second question. Well, actually complaint. My second complaint is, what can we do about cars parking in the handicap zone where the handicapped people cannot get on the sidewalk because they got, wheelchairs, walkers, and so forth. And they also parking in front of our fire hydrant. I thought that was a violation based on anybody that have a fire in the building, and the fire people cannot get to the hydrants.
Yeah, that is. That's more of a traffic enforcement issue. But if you have a particular area, like a particular street that is constantly happening on, please
Okay.
email it to me.
I'll
And
give it to you. Thank
forward
you.
that to traffic enforcement, and then ask them, to follow up with that. Okay.
Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right.
Uh,
Mr. Chair,
Ralph.
Shatoria had her in the box. Shatoria.
Yeah, but before I
kindly
go to
ask the people to read-
Shatoria, Ralph, I just want to know when MTA does their traffic, when they're gonna go out to do a survey or to make sure that they're running on time, can you please ask them not to notify the garage and not to notify those drivers?
Sure.
So, we can,
Sure, we'll
Okay.
do that. I'll follow up. His name is Chavez Gonzalez. I'll follow up with Chavez. That's not a problem.
Talia wanted to talk, but she's on the phone.
Okay.
Talia?
If she's on the phone, she needs to star 6 to unmute herself if she's muted. and I thought I put her name in.
I thought I saw her name. Yeah, there it goes.
Evening.
There you
Good
go.
evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, my complaint is twofold, and it has to do with Vegas Avenue between Dawson and Kelly Street. We still have a problem with vehicles going up the wrong way on Leggett, and also double parked cars late at night into early morning where community members are blocked in. And for the most part, sometimes they don't even get a summons. And this is continuous. That's all I have to say. That's my complaint.
Talia, can you do me a favor? Can you email me the exact location?
Excuse me, Ralph, I'm sorry.
All right, no problem. Can you email me these exact locations and if there's a specific time that it's happening? Because that's twofold. That could be traffic enforcement and that could be DOT not putting proper signage up. But I need the
Right.
exact location, and I will forward those email. I will forward that out to our respective city agencies. Okay.
Thank you very much, Ralph.
No problem, Talia. Anytime. I think Shatoria acts first before Cliff and Sandra De Jesus. So the Shatoria.
Yes, hi. So, my complaint is about the increase of break-ins into the cars. In my area, my car got broken into twice, once in December and again like last week. And then also about the like a lot of the tire shops, they block parking by putting cones in the street, so you are not able to park.
Are you over by Longwood or into Shatoria?
Longwood and Westchester.
Okay. I would suggest that you can follow up. This is more of an enforcement issue. I'm sorry to hear that.
Mhm.
But I don't know if you want, you can follow up with me with like the location of these tire shops.
Okay.
Or I can have Sergeant Guglielmo follow up with you. Something along those lines. What would you prefer?
Either is fine.
Okay, send me an email about the locations of the tire shops. I'll forward that along. I know that the 401 is on this call now. But this is something also I would strongly suggest that you can raise at the precinct council meeting. Because
Okay.
it will go directly to the officers there, and the commanding officer will, or the executive officer, someone from the administration from the 41st precinct will be present for that. But if you can do that, that would be great. And I'm really sorry to hear about your car, the break-ins with your car. But we can follow up with the tire shops as far as putting cones out.
Mhm.
So sometimes they need the space because it's their business, so if there's cars parked properly, it can, affect people trying to drive in, and if it's a flat fix in particular, if you're calling it a tire shop. But we can address that if we bring it to the make them aware of it. So just follow up with me with that, okay? Please.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much.
Who else?
Next, we got Cliff.
Cliff?
How you doing? This is a question maybe for Sergeant Guglielmo or the captain. It's also in response to the cars that are illegally parked on hydrants. And I know they were having an issue maybe about a month ago, more or less, that they weren't able to actually tow cars because the tow lots were full, even from the city. Has that been corrected, or are they already able to tow vehicles that are illegally parked like on hydrants?
So the vehicles at the hydrant, hi, how are you? The vehicles at the hydrant are, you definitely, if you call 311, I track those every morning. I track with our 311 response to see how long it takes to get there and if a summons was issued. As far as getting the tows, we are still a little bit delayed, and a lot of times those vehicles are moved by the time they get there. The tow issue was more so for the paper plate cars, where I was taking in like 10 at a time some nights, where I was having issues getting the impound lot filled. As far as the hydrants, any concerns you have, please report. If it's a chronic location, absolutely reach out to me direct, just in case, get it on my radar. But if those 311s are coming in, I get them every morning. I get a 24-hour recap, which includes how long it took my cops to get there and the final. When I see a final, that's not a summons, I kind of question the response, right? And I give it out to my lieutenants to get back to me. So as long as we're getting notified of it, which the 301 system is good to go, I'll follow up absolutely.
Okay, I appreciate it, Captain. Thank you a lot.
Okay, Sandra De Jesus.
I think mine is more of the precinct issue.
Okay.
As you know, I'm a community education council member. And District 8 there's a lot of my schools in this neighborhood. I've done a walkthrough through Reverend James Polite, PS 333, PS 62. We have issues with crossing guards, and some of the cars by 333 and Reverend James Polite, when they make that turn coming down from Prospect Avenue by the gas station, they come zooming through. And half of the times we don't even have a crossing guard there. So we need a lot of crossing guards in our district for our schools. So.
All right, Sandra. I think, like you said, that's a precinct council issue. And I know that, you volunteer a lot with the precinct and the precinct council. So I would suggest, I don't know what I can do because that's actually a precinct issue when it comes to the traffic safety agents and school crossing guards. So I don't know if Captain Maciel want to address that now, maybe on his report. But that's something that I would strongly suggest you need to follow up at the precinct council meeting.
Okay, one more question. What are we doing? What can we do about all these homeless people up where I live on my block from 800 Monida? I mean, they're like absolutely going crazy with this winter cold and doing a lot of things on the block, flattening tires, breaking into cars, using drugs, everything. I mean, it's the same thing, and we complain about this constantly over and over and over again. Nothing ever gets done.
Sandra, what can be done is that Ralph can contact the people over at Barretto, is it, Ralph?
Yeah, 800 Barretto, I guess, not 800 Monida, but 800 Barretto, right?
Yeah, and they have a homeless outreach unit, and with the code, they should be out there already. The way it works, but maybe we can talk to them and see what they can do to help us out on that side.
We can invite them. I can invite them to the municipality meeting,
right.
Hopefully for February, depending on what items are already on the agenda for that meeting, and give us an update on where they at with security and just overall services. What they do, because that is a transitional setting. And yes, Maria.
Yeah, if I may, because I know we've met with them in the past, and I used to be able to contact their head security guy, Wilson, and he's no longer there. So we do need to reconnect with them so we know who exactly to contact when we have issues on the block with
I'll
their
get you an answer for that right away. I'll get you an answer for that, okay? But I'll set something up. I'll reach out to them. Now, normally I'm just scrolling down. Noel Concepcion, the director of adult services, attends these meetings, our full boards. I don't see Noel on, and I don't see Cassie, who's the director of social services there. So I'll make them aware that. I'm sorry?
Cassie left.
I'll make them aware, thank you, of what's going on, and then we'll follow up, okay?
Yes, I've met with Cassie a few times, so
all right.
She already knows most of my.
All right, thank you, Sandra. Maria, you have your hand raised.
No, I just spoke, so I'll take it down.
I got it. Thank you. Ray Arroyo has his hand raised.
And Ralph, let Ray be the last one because we need to get this meeting going.
Ray.
Hey, if you could include me, Ralph, on that Bronx Works meeting, 800 Barretto.
Sure, no problem.
That's it. I'm right across the street from them, so it affects Maria and Sandra on one side and me on the other. I will say I've seen a lot less homeless activity due to the cold. It's definitely not like the summer months, but they're still around.
Okay, we'll do. Not a problem. Thank you. And I just also want to remind people that that raised these concerns, a lot of them will fall on enforcement, police enforcement, and I will encourage people to please attend the precinct council meeting because that's where it is going to be properly addressed. I'm relaying information, so I'm relying on whoever raised concerns to just properly give me the details, so I can relay it to NYPD. But Mr. Chair, I don't see no one else with their hand raised, so I guess if you want to conclude the public hearing, we're good.
Thank you very much. And I also charted down all of the complaints. And I will sit down with Ralph and also with the captain to see what we can do to put some things together to show how we feel about some of these, especially the illegally parked cars. I have on my block, I have guys parked on crosswalks, parked in front of pumps. I haven't said anything because, I know that the police department is sort of a little short-handed right now. I know they're expecting some 30 officers. I don't know if they've gotten them yet, but hopefully if they have gotten them, then maybe we can redeploy and have a radio car handling these trouble spots that we have that was spoke of today. So with that, I will go instead of going with the agenda. And Captain, please bear with me on this. I liked because I know that some of the elected officials are on, and they need to leave to go to other meetings. So with that, I will go to Councilman Rafael Salamanca, if you're on.
Yes, Mr. Chair, how are you? Can you hear
How
me?
you doing? Yes, sir.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for allowing me to speak. I will be brief.
Go ahead. You're muted.
Oh,
You're muted. You're muted. There you go.
Ralph, you're muted.
I'm muted?
Yes, sir. Now you're not.
Now, all right. Much better. So I want to first, I know this is the first meeting of the year. I want to wish everyone a happy new year. And feliz nuevo. I want to start by really thanking everyone who attended my inauguration and
Ralph, you're coming in broken up again.
oh, okay.
Ralph, you're coming in broken up again.
what about now?
Now you're okay.
All right. I guess something with my Wi-Fi. All right. So I just want to thank everyone for coming to my inauguration in the month of December. Can you hear me, Bobby, or are you coming in?
Yes. You're
Welcome, Salamanca.
Thank you. All right, so let me get to this. First, just so you know, this past month, we in this new term, we voted for a new speaker, and we were able to elect the first African American person in the post of Speaker of the New York City Council, and she was a female. And so I'm just really excited to know that we have Speaker, Madam Speaker Adrienne Adams, who's the Speaker of the New York City Council. I have a great relationship with Adrienne Adams, and we're going to do great work together. And I know that we're going to be able to deliver for the South Bronx and the Bronx as a whole with her leadership. Last week they gave out appointments, and I'm really excited to know that I was reappointed to be the chairman of the Land Use Committee for the City Council, which is probably the most powerful committee in the City Council of all chairmanships. And so I look forward to continuing that role and ensuring that we have equity when we're speaking about rezonings and housing and how we utilize land. Last week, there was this explosion, a huge explosion that occurred on Fox Street between Interval Avenue and Tiffany Street. four homes were destroyed. Uh, about 2,000 individuals were displaced, and one constituent of mine, she passed because of her injuries. Um, I was present from the very beginning, and I was there for about 2 days. I was there until the Office of Emergency Management left. And I just, before I move on with giving you the full report, I just have to give a big thank you and big kudos and recognition to the commanding officer of the 4-1 precinct, Captain Macia, and his 4 officers who sacrificed their lives to save a life. For those of you, and I know that the captain's going to speak on this, and I'm sorry, Captain, but I need to acknowledge you and your officers. For those of you that know, the captain, if you saw the news, that video of someone running into that building in fire and taking and taking someone from underneath a sofa and bringing them out, that was Captain Macia's video cam that he had on his body. And Captain Macia, for those of you who know, his wife just gave birth a few days ago. He was expecting a newborn child. He sacrificed his life, and the other officers did, to save a life. And I just need to acknowledge you, Captain, and thank you for the work that you've done, and the heroism that you displayed. Throughout this process, to show how serious this is, the mayor of the city of New York came through. The police commissioner of the city of New York as well came through, and the mayor held a press conference on site to speak on what happened that day and how we're going to help those families that were displaced. As I mentioned, there were 4 homes that were destroyed, and my office is working with the local elected officials, such as Assemblywoman Amanda Septimo, Assembly Member Kenny Burgos, State Senator Louis Sepulveda, and Urban Health Plan, ensuring that those families that were affected are getting the resources that they need, are getting the clothing that they need. But if you know of any of these families that you feel that are not getting what they need in terms of housing, clothing, and food, please inform my office, and we will be there to assist them. And then finally, just want to talk briefly about COVID testing. My office we've been performing COVID testing for the last few months in my office, and we have continued to do this in collaboration with the Department of Health.
Right? So,
Excuse me, somebody's on the air.
to another hospital.
So we continue to do COVID testing in collaboration with the Department of Health, and I really have to give a big shout out and thank you to Deputy Commissioner or Assistant, Anita Reyes. For those of you that know, Anita Reyes has, she's a main factor of this community, and she has been extremely helpful with my office in coordination and ensuring that we get the at-home COVID test so that we can give out to members in the community. So I want to publicly thank Anita Reyes for your work and for your assistance on that. And then finally, it is budget season. We're going to vote on the budget in June, but the portal is open for those not-for-profits that choose to apply for discretionary funding. Should you choose to apply, you have to apply online. Calling my office saying that you're seeking discretionary funding means nothing unless you put your application through the portal. And my office will work with you, especially if you are a local, reputable, not-for-profit in our communities, to ensure that you get funding. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to address your board.
Thank you, Councilman, and I want to thank you for all the work that you've been doing.
It's
I know
dangerous
how
for me
long.
as well, as a rescuer in that area.
Hello. Thank you. I want to thank you for all the work that you did, especially at the fire. I know that both the district manager and myself were there with you, but I know that you took the bull by the horn and made sure that everybody was being treated the right way. That I want to say that thank you for your pizza pies that you gave out to everybody that day, and kudos to you. Thank you.
And Mr. Chair, I made me remiss. My apologies if I didn't recognize our fire department and EMS who were present. I counted. There were at least 200, firemen and women who were present, and they distinguished this fire, and they tried their best. I have to give them credit. They tried their best to save as many homes as possible. You have to understand that these homes were attached, and so when a fire in that magnitude happens, fire tends to spread really quickly. So to be able to control that fire the way they did and save lives, I have to acknowledge the fire department for their work. And thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. With that, I would ask if anybody has any questions to the councilman, but I'm afraid to open it up because people will start asking questions. If they wish to stay on for a little while longer, and then when it comes to the elected officials, we can do it then. I would appreciate it very, very much. With that, I want to go to our Assemblywoman, Ms. Septimo.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm going to be brief because I know you guys have a lot to get through. But first, thank you to the chairman for having me, and Happy New Year to everyone. And I also want to say thank you to Councilman Salamanca, who I think displayed incredible leadership throughout all of the happenings around the fire. We have been marred by a lot of tragedy at the start of the year, but I think, seeing good leaders step up is always heartening for me. So thank you for that, Councilman. So some of the stuff that we've got going on, I think that I want to highlight first, our office has been doing a lot of work around housing assistance. We know that a lot of people have been really stressed out about the end of the eviction moratorium, about making sure that their applications for the rental assistance program that came through the state got through okay. We want to let people know that if you've applied for the rental assistance program, even if you have not yet been accepted, you are protected from eviction still. So please let your neighbors know that, because we know that eviction is heavy on people's minds. And the Bronx has the highest eviction rates in the city. So we've been helping a lot with that, and we want to make sure that people know we're still available to help. So please feel free to come to our office or give us a call and find us on that. It is also budget season on the state level. So we're just kind of starting our budget dance. I'm also teaming up with local folks to just talk about a budget 101. How you pursue funding, not only on the state level, but on the city level, and what does it all mean? I'm an assembly member, and every day I'm still learning new ropes. And so we want to make sure that as we're learning this information, we're also turning it out to our community and to our orgs. So we'll be sure to share that information as soon as it becomes available, which should be probably tomorrow. And then finally, we've also, I think, like everyone else, been caught in, doing COVID at home COVID test giveaways, PPE, that sort of stuff. So if anyone has a need for those sorts of materials or those kind of resources, we will always try to help or make sure that you get what you need from some other place, if not us. So with that, I promise to be brief, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it back to you, Chairman. Thank you again for the chance to address the board, and Happy New Year to you all.
Thank you, Madam Assemblywoman. And I know you always sending your regards, and I know that you guys were busy the day of the fire. You guys were up in Albany, but your staffs were there, and I want to thank all the elected officials, staff members that were there for that day, and I know your staff was there also. So thank you very much. Thank you. Now coming up now is Assemblywoman Cynthia Jackson.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to be extremely brief because I'm still working like everyone else in Albany. As we speak, I'm still on the education budget hearing, and just asked a few questions of our chancellor and our commissioner, just keeping us in the loop of what's happening. I heard recently that the chancellor is requesting that the superintendents reapply for their jobs. And so I just wanted to, let Someone's unmuted.
Somebody is on the air, please.
So I just want to let our chancellor know of the work that our superintendents here in the Bronx have been doing, just to champion them, just so you guys know. And I'm also advocating for more social workers in school, as I normally would, and making sure that our schools our teachers and our staff represent what our students look like. People of color. We need to know what they're doing to recruit more teachers of color in our schools, in particular Black males, because we are failing our Black male students. They are first to be suspended, to be expelled, to maybe drop out, to not be placed in advanced placement classes or IB. And so I brought all those issues up today to our commissioner and to our chancellor. So I just wanted you guys to be aware of that. We do have a testing kit giveaway that Assemblymember Septimo spoke about. So we have that happening tomorrow at St. Mary's houses. She and I will not be there because we're here in Albany still doing the work that you guys put us in charge of. And Salamanca as well is a part of that initiative, as well as the Bronx Borough President and our Congressman Richie Torres. So that is happening tomorrow at 2 p.m. at St. Mary's House, just so you guys know. On Valentine's Day weekend, which is at February 12th, we're going to be giving away candy and condoms to keep people safe. Okay. And we'll be doing that in a few areas. Once we get the places that we're going to be giving away stuff, we will make sure you guys receive a flyer so you can pass it out. And that is it for me. My staff is on here. Kelvin is on here, and we'll be taking notes and answering any questions. It's going to support, but it's going to be a part of that COVID test situation.
Thank you very much, Assemblywoman. And again, I got to thank you also for your staff being there, though it wasn't part of your assembly district. Your staff was present also. So I want to thank them also, and thank you for all the assistance that you were able to provide on that day. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Next up is our state senator, Louis Sepulveda. Louis?
Thank you, Bobby, for finally acknowledging me. Thank you so much. I want to thank everyone for the work that they're doing in the community. I also want to send my deepest condolences to the families of the officers that were killed this past week. The line of duty, one of them had a service today, and there's nothing sadder than to see two young police officers, whether men or women, lose their lives while they're trying to do the best for this community. I want to announce that my new representative community board 2 is Vincent Sepulveda. He's not related to me, but he will be the primary person dealing with community board 2. So I welcome aboard, and he's currently on the chat. I worked, even though I was in Albany when the explosion happened, but I did work with the councilman behind the scenes to help the families. And I'm currently working with Easy Living to get, we send a truck to Pennsylvania to get thousands of pounds of food for these families and for anyone else in the community. We're going to be distributing that, working with Assemblyman Kenny Burgos and the councilman to help the people in that community, because we know that they need as much help as they can get. So if you follow us on the social media, you can get, we're going to be posting where we're going to give out the foods. It's going to be primarily in that area, but it's a lot of food, and we encourage everyone to come. This past weekend, we were given an allotment of home tests for COVID, the kits. And this past weekend with my staff, we personally delivered, we went door to door and delivered about 550 kits to people in the community, primarily seniors who don't have internet and don't have access to be able to order it online to the post office. So we personally went and delivered over 550, and we're getting more shipments, and we're going to continue that work, especially in the peninsula that has probably the highest rate of infection in the entire city of New York. So that's an effort we're going to continue.
Excuse me, Senator. Somebody has their line open. Please be courteous to the speakers.
Stop.
Please. Thank you.
Thank you. As my colleagues have indicated, the session started. We're working on the budget in Albany. And so that everyone knows where I'm headed, my policies. First of all, on the budget, I am pushing and fighting like hell to get more money into our communities for our schools. Unfortunately, we still have the highest dropout rate and the highest unemployment rate in the entire state of New York. And the way to cure that is to make sure that our kids get the education they're entitled to. So I'm pushing to get about $44 million into our district, which will include Community Board 2. And I'm working with my colleagues like Kenny Burgos, Chantel, and Amanda Septimo. We're working together to make sure that we get those funds in our community. We're also working diligently to get more funds for affordable housing, and I mean real affordable housing that has an area medium income that takes into account about a 20-block radius of the community, and not this national average is very difficult for people to meet. We're also working on getting extra funding from the governor for economic development in our community. You know, if you want to cure violence, gun violence, if you want to cure violence in our community, if you want to cure crime, the best way to do that is to get people housing, to get our kids the best education in the world, and to get robust economic development. That's the way, the best way to cure the problems that we have with crime in our community. My office has been functioning full operations at the beginning of the year. We continue to help people with many issues. One of our main priorities now has been to protect people so they can remain in their apartments. I want to remind people that even though ERAP does not have money to dole out, the reality is that if you apply and the window to apply is closing, if you apply and you did qualify, even though the money's not there, but you would have qualified, then that still affords you a level of protection from evictions. So if you'll still get the protection from the court. Housing code will ask the landlords that if you have applied and if you have and you qualify. And on top of that, the reality is that with the backlog of housing court cases that exists right now, even when you don't have COVID, to get a marshal to execute a warrant takes a long time. So people that are concerned about being evicted, you do have about a good year, I believe, before any substantial action is going to take. But in the meantime, apply for all the kinds of programs that are going to help you. I'm also pushing for those that are homeowners so that we can, even though we no longer the moratorium on evictions expired, the moratorium also on foreclosures expired, and I am pushing for us to see if we can pass legislation that will not allow banks to commence foreclosure proceedings in our Supreme Court, so that homeowners also get protections. Homeowners, please apply for the homeowners assistance program. Remember that that program will help you pay for taxes. If you own condos or co-ops, for common charges and maintenance, it'll help you pay for your water bills, but apply immediately because the funds are going to wear out real quickly. And it's first in line. So please make sure that you apply. Lastly, our office again is open. We have real hardworking people in our community that are going to assist. If you need help, come by, call us. We're here to help. And thank you again, Bobby and the community board for the wonderful work that you do.
Thank you, Senator Sepulveda. I also want to thank you for having your staff there and working with the councilmen as well as with the other assembly members, Septimo, Jackson, and oh my God. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Burgos. Yes. All of you guys really worked very hard on that day, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank you all very much because it meant a lot to a lot of the community for seeing your staff or yourselves there. It meant a lot to at least me, and I know to the district manager that we knew that our elected officials were there. And it also meant a lot because the officers, the firefighters and the police officers that were there, they saw that this was a united community, and that when the mayor came down, they saw the unity that was there. So I want to thank you all very, very, very much for being there on that day. I wish there was some way I can thank yous other than saying thank you this way, but thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Bobby, as well. And Ralph, thank you guys for the work you did.
No problem. Thank you, Senator. We have Paula Fields with a hand raised, Mr. Chair.
Paula?
Yes, I just wanted to thank the elected officials and the work that they're doing in Albany with passing the bills that are totally relative to concerns and issues in our district, like the condoms and the candy, and making sure that children of color are not the first to be suspended, the male population in our district, and the wonderful work that Senator Sepulveda, Salamanca, and Burgos are doing, especially with the victims of the fire. Thank you, guys. You are appreciated.
Thank you. Anybody else, Ralph?
No one else, sir.
Thank you. With that, I'm sorry, I need to go on back onto the schedule. And so with that, I will start with Captain Macia. I'm glad to see you. And again, I want to congratulate you on a job well done in bringing another girl into the fold. Captain.
So much. Thank you. I want to start by saying thank you to the community leaders. Bobby, you were there right away. So the chair, District Manager Ralph, and the councilman who was there. The moment I feel like pretty much when I came out of that building, I think I saw a councilman immediately when I ran down the block, already there. And beyond that initial response, there was a lot of interagency meetings that were happening. Every like 10 hours, 12 hours, and 24-hour recaps for a couple of days, where it's all these other agencies that are discussing how we're going to handle the situation at the location. And the councilman was there the whole time to make sure that the community was heard and at the best interest. That's everything from turning the gas back on, the water back on, what buildings were going to be demolished, and help quarterback the resources to the community at that level and the recovery for the community. So thank you to everybody. Thank you for everybody that reached out to me and my officers. The support's been tremendous. So going forward with the crime stats, I'll do the 28-day real quick. We're up tremendous. We're up big, actually. 101 versus 54 in major crimes. It's an 87% increase. The largest increase is what came up already today, which is the grand theft of the vehicles. GLAs up 20 versus 7. And when you look at those 20, 15 of them are keys in the vehicle. Going to the store on Southern Boulevard, going to the store in Westchester, leaving the keys in the vehicle. If they're crimes of opportunity, we caught 2 of them, and they weren't like career criminals. They were just like people that probably would have been stealing from Rite Aid if they didn't just happen to find a car running on the right there in the street. A crime of opportunity. Just take the car and take off with somebody's livelihood, honestly, that really impacts their family. Robberies are up 20 versus 12, 66.7%. Of those robberies, only one of them are in transit for this 28-day period. And the remainder of them, we're having an issue with groups of kids again on Southern Boulevard and Westchester. It's the same vicinity where they're going up to people and they're jumping them from behind, 4 or 5 kids. We caught 3 of them. They were 14 and 15 years old. And, at this point, we're reaching out to the family, reaching out to doing visits at their homes. 2 of them don't live within the confines of the precinct. They live in the 4-2. But the ones that do or don't, I'm still going to quarterback the outreach of to those kids and try and get them on the right track. Felony assaults, 29 versus 16. That's an increase, but many of those felony assaults are domestic related with arrests associated. Our response time to these instances in the command, our response time to robberies, our response time to felony assaults, and even those GLAs have been, we've got down to about 3 minutes on a robbery right now, which is down from 7.5 minutes, 8 minutes. And that's really helping our responses. Same thing with the felony assaults. To answer your question from before, Mr. Chair, we did get 14 of our officers so far. So we got 14 rookies, and I'm hoping to get another 14 rookies in another month and a half. As we get them going, we immediately got them going on some pretty important community complaints, which again was the Rite Aids. So I got them working on Rite Aids, taking arrests from those locations. I get them along Southern Boulevard in Westchester with the problems with robberies with these kids. I'll put them on the parked cars, double parked cars, and I'll put them on the fire hydrant stuff also. My goal is to get them ingrained in what the community complaints are so they understand why they're doing what we're doing every day. That being said, too, when they're going to these domestic violence jobs, we have them taking some of those rests, but not all of them, because we want to make sure that they are handled correctly. So certain jobs, we're teaching them along the way. And thank you for everybody that came to speak to them. So, that's important too. When we have the next group, hopefully 14 again coming in, I'm going to request that hopefully those are maybe in person, but if we're still doing remote, we'll do remote again. And, just really let them hear what's going on here in the 401 and what's important to everybody. To finish up with crimes, our burglaries are 8 versus 6, but the majority of those are in the Hunts Point section. We got a bunch of truck burgs with the same individuals stealing stuff off the back of trucks, and we're working to get them in custody also. Shootings. In the last 4 days, we took 3 shootings. So 6 days. So Friday night, we took a shooting down in the Hunts Point section at a vehicle repair shop, I'll call it that, where at that point, a firearm was recovered from a vehicle at the location and somebody picked it up. And it was a high capacity firearm with a silencer on it. It fired a shot when they picked it up and hit somebody down within the facility. Saturday, we took another shooting. That shooting happened on 809 Hunts Point Avenue, outside location, 10 o'clock at night, I think, or 8:30 at night. I was in the hospital at the time with the baby, but what was going on that night, we're getting notified. There's a fight outside the location, and at that point, a male gets shot twice. We have good leads on that for now, but it's never a great situation to have bullets flying in the middle of the street like that day. The final shooting we took was down at 1318 Oak Point at that location. That shooting, we have pretty good leads too so far. It looks like there was some type of either potentially illegal location operating that spot, or a car meet, some type of event going on down there in the point. And that's something that we're going to continue to investigate and hopefully have a determination on if we're going to have an arrest in that situation within a week or so also. So with those 3 shootings, we're up in shootings for the year because of those instances. Now, the first being the accidental, we don't think we're going to have any criminal charges on that guy that just picked it up. It was left in a car that was scheduled to be demolished. The next 2, we're not sure how the videos are going to come out. Definitely the one in the middle, we're going to have hopefully somebody charged soon. But the one in Oak Point, we're trying to figure out if who had the gun at that point. Do you have any questions? I saw a couple of hands.
Thank you, Cap. First, I want to thank you for the immediate response that you did at the day of the fire, the explosion, I should say, and your 4 or 5 officers. I forgot how many it was, but all of you responded so quickly that I cannot. There's no way of me saying thank you without saying, you guys really put your lives on the line on there, and you guys did a job well done, and saved that lady's life. I know that the fire was coming underneath the building when you guys got there, and you felt it, and it was coming above you guys at the same time. So I know that you guys did a fantastic job, and that's all I could really say right now, other than I would hope that everybody understands that the 401 really has some really great officers and great leadership. Thank you very, very much for your leadership on that. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you again for being there that day. It was good to see familiar faces to help me out with what's going on. I mean, the recovery, to see the church filled with resources for the families, it was tremendous. Tremendous.
Thank you very much. And I know that there's probably few questions out there for you.
Mr. Chair, I only see LaShawn Lindsay with her hand raised.
Okay, LaShawn.
Hi guys, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hello, Captain Maceo. We haven't officially met, but thank you for your hard work. I sit on the community board, and my question is, the fire department over on Seneca, right around the corner, there's a homeless encampment that I've voiced concerns about, and it's very dark in that area. I don't see police presence over there at all, and I'm hoping we can get some help in that area, because it's becoming quite a bit, quite honestly. The other thing is that you mentioned a lot of the robberies are with kids on the Southern Boulevard side. Are you planning to deploy more officers over there? Because if it's a group of kids, people really don't stand a chance if they're trying to rob them. So I'm wondering, what are you able to do to kind of help deter that type of unfortunate behavior?
So it's with the homeless encampment, absolutely, we're going to follow up, make sure that DHS is notified, but working with us too to ensure that it's happening. Like that they attempt to go to the location correctly, and we'll be hand in hand with them. If there's criminal activity there, we'll address that part. Going to the robberies. Right before even this meeting, I have my 4 to 12 and midnight platoon commanders, and those are my lieutenants that are running the shop. For those when I'm not always here, depending what tour I'm doing, drilling into them that this location, Southern Boulevard, Westchester, where they're potentially fleeing, what these kids are usually wearing, what they look like in the past, and who they're going to be canvassing to get, because that's the best we're going to be able to do is capture them as quick as possible. We spoke about response times, right? And getting the response times down is going to be our number one goal, right? Making sure we're there even quicker than 3 minutes right now. There's a couple of outliers that hopefully get me there within, there's a minute that we lose with the 911 call itself. So having them in the location, like you said, is extremely important. We're one of the next commands that's going to have what's called the neighborhood safety teams. We're one of the pilot commands. Yeah, we are. We already have a public safety team, so they're going to be switching over to neighborhood safety team, and they're constantly deployed in that area. For the year to date, they have 2 guns recovered. They have 3 guns, but 2 of them are in that vicinity between Southern and Westchester, which is where they're constantly deployed. As always, even the auxiliary officers, I spoke to Detective Juth this week about extra deployment for them on Southern and Westchester. I also met with a couple store owners for extra cameras there. And one of them, I don't want to put out who it was yet, but it looks like we're going to be able to get like super high def in front, right in front. They offered north and south that they weren't going to put in before because I made the request that I need the help for the street robberies in the area. They have a shoplifting condition, which I'm working on, but I also need help for the street robberies for the community.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And congratulations on the baby.
Thank you.
Ralph, did you see my hand raised?
Yeah, and it went back down, but go ahead, Paula.
Hi, Paula.
Good evening, Captain. Congratulations and thank you for the tremendous job done with the fire incident. But I was wondering in NYPD, because it seems as if every teenage boy that I know has a gun. Do they find out how these kids are getting these guns? Is there any emphasis being put on that, or is it just trying to get the guns? Because I'm just trying to find out how these kids have all these guns.
Absolutely. So finding out the information on how these guns are recovered, I get questioned more about that, and also the legality of the initial stop than anything you can like. It's one of the every week we have a gun conference call, and in the gun conference call we review gun arrests for the previous depending how far they're going out, 6 to 8 weeks, right? And during those calls, and then we have a year review actually. We review how the gun was processed, right? Meaning, did we get prints and everything? What the gun came back to? Was it coming from a different state, right? Did the perpetrator or entering the people with them make statements on how that gun was attained? Because that becomes important to us. Is this a ghost gun? Is this a gun that was reported stolen, let's say, out of Virginia, and now is here in New York City? So tracking the guns is tremendously important to us. It's a major part of our investigations.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I think it's James Gobbins from Guns Up, Guns Down, Life Up. James, is that you? He has his hand raised. I don't know if you want to entertain anyone from the public now.
Sure, why not? Hello? Ralph?
Yeah, I don't know. James, you there?
You hear me? Hello, my name is James Dobbins. Hello.
How you doing, sir?
So I'm looking to I want to be a part of your roll calls, your morning roll calls and evenings, so we can create a synergy, please. If you could add us to that. Also, I'm gonna tell you, I have over 200 and something kids, youth, right? So I think it's already been everybody kind of know all these OGs, the older guys. If there's 5 people in the car and I have a 13-year-old, 14-year-old, we all point to him, say, if you get pulled over or anything happen, you hold the gun. You know, because they get charged with a wire or something. So these young kids is getting these guns because they're getting sick to the system. They feel, you know, they're not gonna go to jail and get the time. So that's what's happening. I mean, it's a short overview. And we could get more into that, but I don't want to take too much time. But we really have our hands on the pulse, and I'd like to be a part of the roll call because I have a lot of court mandates. A lot of this drill music is going on, as you know, and a lot of these students and a lot of these kids we participate with. And I just want to be able to connect with you, maybe off air, and we have a conversation. But a lot of these guns is coming from out of state, as you know, and a lot of these OGs, a lot of these older guys, they're getting smart with it and letting these young kids do their dirty work because they won't do that much time or something. All right?
Absolutely. Thank you.
James, also, this is an item you need to bring at the police and council meeting. If
Yes.
you're looking for anything like that. So I would suggest you follow up directly with either the president of the precinct council or the precinct council, okay?
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Thank you,
I don't know if
James.
you want to entertain any more questions, but Ray Arroyo and Monique Menace has their hand raised.
Sure. The last two.
Okay, Ray was first.
Hey, just to point out, I put my email as the council president in the chat. I'll put it up again. So if anyone has any concerns that they want to bring towards me that I can share or address at our next meeting, let me know. And tomorrow I will be taking part of a briefing on the new neighborhood safety teams. And so I will report back on that. That's with one of the chief of police, one of the chiefs, and I'll report back on that at the council meeting, which is next Thursday via Zoom.
Great. Thank you, Ray. Thank you for the update. Monique Menace has a hand raised.
Yes, Monique.
Hi, yes. So to Guns Down Life Up, I will leave my email in the chat box because I would love to work with you guys. My nephew is Bando and he does this drill music. You understand? And K Flock is someone who played football for me. So I'm very familiar with these kids that are getting into these serious situations, and I would love to be a liaison and bringing these things together because they don't need more jail time. That's the last thing that these young Black and Spanish kids need is more jail time. But they need programs, and I'm willing to help you make this go forward. So I'll leave my information in the chat. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Monique. And any help that naturally you can or Ray can or anybody can to help us on this issue would be greatly appreciated. I don't know if the captain knows if he wants to share or if he does know. Are we part of that 80 precinct initiative that the mayor has been talking about?
Yeah, so the top 30 commands in the city, we're number 21 that are responsible for 80% of the shootings and violence that we're in there. So our teams are going to be deployed, which, and just to give you a heads up, we already started since I got here with some extra legal refreshers that I had them doing this ahead of time. And that's what's going to be encompassing the program. When you hear about more of the details, it's going to be an increased emphasis on the quality of the stops and the interactions with the public to ensure we maintain trust.
Thank you very much, Cap, for answering my question. With that, Cap, I know you got a baby you got to go take care of, and I don't want to take too much of your time. But if Sokola's around or her partner, please have them stay around so in case there's any questions down the road on police issues.
Thank you so much thank you everybody for the support, and thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. With that, we will now go into the business session of the board, and I will now state that we are going, when we're in business session, only board members will be speaking. And I will ask Yvonne to please call the roll.
Right. Good evening, everybody. When you please hear your name, please let me know that you're here. Carrie Agapito.
Present here.
Thank you. Telvis Austin Jr.
Present here.
Arauz.
Present.
Jaime Arroyo.
Present.
Love Bensacourt,
Here.
Miles Burnett, Paula Fields Conyers,
I'm here.
Paul Coverdale,
Here.
Robert Crespo,
Present.
Altagracia Cruz, Julia Cruz. Here. Thank you. Sandra de Jesus.
Present.
Kevin Ellison.
I am here.
Sonia Ferguson.
Here.
Pascual Gomez.
Present.
Thank you. Shataria McCoy Gregg.
Present.
Alexandra Guadalupe.
Present.
Me, I'm here. Yvonne Guillén. Jesse Harris.
Jesse's here. He's
Jesse's here. I just saw him on the screen.
Thank you. Jennifer Kelman.
Present.
Jeffrey Korn.
Present.
LaShawn Lindsay.
Present.
Talia Simone Lindquist.
She's on the phone.
I know I heard her earlier. Barbara Lopez.
Nope.
Roland Lopez.
Yeah.
Nicholas Mario. Here. Luis Marrero.
Right here.
Jonathan Martir.
Here.
Cedric McCluster. Monique Menace. Clifford Muniz. I know Monique is here. Clifford Muniz.
I'm sorry, I'm here.
Present.
Uh,
Present.
thank you, Clifford. Robert Moses. Lynette Olmo.
Here.
Thank you. Maggie Ortiz. Here. Larry Robinson. And Larry's here. I heard him. Anthony Rodriguez.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Anthony Rodriguez present.
Okay. Charlie Samboy. Richard Sherman.
Here.
Tamara South. Beyonce Tavares.
Here.
Is Tamara South here or no? Okay. Maria Torres.
Yeah.
Marilyn Rowan.
She was here.
Pastor John Udu.
Here.
All right, Mr. Chair, we have quorum. We have.
Miles Burnett is here too.
Thank you, Miles.
Can you give me the number, please?
So we have 36 members present.
36 present, and that makes 4 absent?
No, it makes 7 absent.
7?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
With that, the roll call is now officially made. As I stated before, only board members can make statements on any issue that's here. If there is a person that wishes to speak, please wait till after the official session is done, and we can hear it either through new business or old business, or if there's an announcement to make. With that, adoption of minutes. We know that adoption of minutes are done through everything's being recorded. So we will ask anybody that wants to make wants a copy to please let Cynthia know, and she will give you Cynthia or Ralph know, and they will give you the address where to go, how to get it off your computer. So with that, adoption of minutes. Can I have a motion?
I motion to adopt the minutes.
Sandra,
I second it.
who's that?
Guadalupe.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Second. Thank you very much. With that, now is my report. I think that you all know what my report is about. I've already been saying it all night long. The most devastating fire I think that has occurred in this community. We've had many, but that was in the 70s and early 80s. And since the 90s, we've been coming back up. This has been the first significant fire, and I will hope I would hope that we can take this into consideration and really pray for, I will say, the young lady. She was 77 years old, but she was a young lady, and pray for her and for her soul. Pray for those families that have are going through the system. May not be happy with what they're getting. They may not be happy that they're living in a hotel room. They may not be happy that they, and that we can pray for them, that they can feel that at least they have something for themselves. With and with that, I just want to say thank you for everything that the captain did, that um, that Ralph did, that Cynthia did. I want to thank everybody that was involved that day. We all stood there till late hours and made sure that everybody was comfortable. I think that out of 17 or 18 individuals, only one died. That was the biggest miracle of all. And we can be all proud that out of the 16 the 17 that were left over, they all found some place to lay their head on that night. So I want to thank all of those that were involved, the 4-1 precinct, the fire department, the Con Edison, the numerous EMS units from private companies to public companies that were there. The naturally our elected officials who either were there or sent their staff there, and naturally that we all can be proud of, that our district manager and Cynthia were there doing everything that they can together with all the other city agencies. So I want to thank you all very much. Thank you. With that, that concludes my report. And I will go to the district manager's report. Ralph?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for the kind words under the circumstances. It was just good to see everyone come through. More importantly, the community board can only play a small but vital role when an incident like that. City agencies all take the lead. We just want to make sure from the board perspective that all the information is being relayed properly. And if there's any local resources that are needed, we're there to make the connections. We had every city agency out there. So, like I said, we only play a small role, but yet a vital role, part of the team. And for the sake of time, I'll try to be as fast as possible. Yeah, so we did have a lot going on. I'm happy to hear people raise concerns about enforcement. I just want to encourage people to please attend the precinct council meetings because that's where it could be properly addressed. The office building is opening up slowly but surely. I think by the beginning of February, we should be officially open. However, the community board office is still going to be closed following the COVID guidelines that the city implemented for city offices. So we will speak with people through the door. We have an intercom. I will encourage people to call or email, if they're looking for, if they have questions or any concerns or complaints. That would be the best bet. Unfortunately, we are not allowing people in the office. There's no in-person meetings as of yet. The open meeting law has been suspended indefinitely until the pandemic is over. The governor issued that. The state legislators put the amendment in. The governor signed it. It went through the State Department of Health. So we're still meeting virtually until further notice. I want to thank Ray Arroyo for being patient with me. Because we already are booking space at the banknote building for like the first full board meeting. Lots of other things going on, but like I said, for the sake of time, that's the main thing there. I do want to acknowledge also that we do have Anita Reyes on. She's our assistant commissioner for the Department of Health. She might be provide some updates during the elected officials reports. But Anita has been very helpful to me during the pandemic and everything that's going on as far as providing kits. I gave some out in the community. The testing, obviously, information about vaccination, information about masks. So I want to acknowledge Anita for that. If anyone has any questions, you know how to reach us. You can email us or give us a call at the office. And Mr. Chair, that will conclude my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ralph. And with that,
Alexandra Guadalupe has a hand raised. I don't know.
oh, I'm sorry, Sandra. Go ahead.
No, Alexandra Guadalupe.
Alexandra, I'm sorry.
Hey guys, good evening everyone. I just wanted to maybe just put something out there. I really feel like if me being a carpenter, if you reach out to certain union locals, I'm sure they would love to help. It will make them look good as well if they help in rebuilding those houses. So just putting it out there, if you were to reach out to certain organizations like the labor organization, the carpenters union, the electrician, the plumbers union, they will all be willing to help, or even Habitat for Humanities. So just putting it out there.
Alexandra, I'm glad that you brought that up, and maybe
I'm sure they would love to help. But I'm sure just reaching out and maybe somehow people donating material, people are willing to do that. I'm sure if you reach out to the right person.
I thank you for bringing that up, and I will possibly ask the district manager to sit with you and with Cynthia, and maybe come up with some other ideas, and maybe we can work on that ourselves. So thank you very, very much.
Yeah, just as an FYI, I know that the tenants is going through OEM for assistance with permanent placement. The homeowners are going, from my understanding, through the mayor's office for guidance with their insurance companies. So I don't know where we at as far as rebuilding or anything like that. Once I do hear any information, I'll certainly reach out to Guadalupe to see if there's anything as far as extra assistance that could be needed. But as of right now, this is not, this is something that it's dealing, like I said, with this incident in particular. It's a lot of city agencies involved. The community board, we're playing a small role, but yet vital role. But this is exactly the type of information that I could pass along when it presents itself. So I will definitely follow up.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you. With that, Alexis, are you around? You still around? Alexis?
Hi, Bobby. I'm sorry, I had a hard time unmuting myself. Good evening, everyone. I want to say Happy New Year. I miss you guys so much. It's been a while. So I'm very happy to be here. So just some updates because I received some emails about reappointment applications. So reappointment applications will be sent out by the end of this week, and they're due back to the office March 4th. And the applications for new board members are now online on the BP's website. I'm going to insert the link in the chat. And if anyone cannot access that, just let me know via email and I can send those applications directly to you. And those applications are also due back March 4th. And, just to end things off, I just want to echo the borough president by saying that our hearts go out to all the families that are dealing with this tragedy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alexis. And we will be reaching out to you with for the applications. Thank you very much. With that, I'm lost here because they put
to
up
the elected officials.
Oh, thank you. Let me put my glasses on. This way I wouldn't catch myself. From the mayor's office. Their rep from the mayor's office. The VP's office just spoke. Senator Sepulveda's office. Senator Sepulveda just talked. Senator Biaggi.
Hi everyone, this is Joanna from Senator Biaggi's office. I'm here.
Any reports?
Yes, I do. Well, first of all, I do want to echo what everyone else was saying in terms of the fire. Our office was not able to be there, but I do send my condolences to everyone. In terms of announcements, our office, just like other elected officials that have been here as well, we're going to be distributing some N95 masks, children's masks, hand sanitizers, and kits in the community. And so I did want to tell everyone, I can leave my email in the chat as well. If anyone knows of anyone that's homebound that might need like delivery of some of these resources, please do reach out to our office and let us know, and we can coordinate either one of our staff members or a volunteer to come and deliver the resources for anyone that may be homebound. And we're also going to be providing some resources to the point to distribute, but you can always email me in case you know of anyone that might need these resources. The other thing that I did want to flag as well is we're going to have our 2022 Bronx Delegation Budget Forum that's going to happen on February 3rd from 5 to 7. It's going to be in conjunction with Senator Bailey, Senator Rivera, Senator Serrano, and Senator Sepulveda. So I can also leave the RSVP link as well for anyone that would want to participate in terms of, you know, you can view it, you can submit a written testimony to our office, and you can also speak during the forum as well. So I can drop that in the chat as well. But just want to let everyone know we're here as a resource, and anyone can reach out whenever necessary. For anyone that would need constituent services help and assistance, you can reach out to our constituent services team, and you can reach out to me as well whenever necessary. So that's all. I'll be very brief, but thank you everyone for your time.
Thank you very much. Okay. Septimo spoke. Salamanca spoke. Anybody from Councilmember Ayala's office? Councilmember Ayala's office.
Mr. Chair, I just need a point of reference.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to acknowledge that Councilmember Diana Ayala lost her mother recently.
Oh, yes.
I actually attended the wake yesterday, so I can understand why there's no one on from her staff right now. So just want to acknowledge that.
Thank you. Thank you, Ralph. City
hello.
planning. City planning? Nobody from city planning.
Hi, good evening. I'm sorry to interrupt. My name is Vincent. I'm from Senator Sepulveda's office. I apologize. The senator pretty much touched all bases. I just wanted to reintroduce myself. This is my first meeting. I am the new liaison for the office, and I'm also a resident in the board as well.
Thank you very much, Vincent. We'll be talking more later on.
Okay.
Assembly Member Kenny Burgos' office. None. Congressman Richie Torres' office. The Controller's office. Department of Health.
Rita's here.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and thank you for allowing me to speak. I wanted to just mention that we are continuing to work on the COVID. The cases and hospitalizations related cases have been peaking, and so what we're seeing is a downslope right now. However, the cases counts remain very high in New York City, and so the community transmission remains widespread. So we want to remind people to continue to practice social distancing, making sure that you're wearing your mask, that you're protected, and that you're getting tested and vaccinated. So that's like the most important thing. What we found is that the data is showing that unvaccinated people are 8 times more likely to be hospitalized than people who are vaccinated. So that data is on our website. If you're interested, please go into the DOHMH COVID-19 page. And we are asking those people who are eligible to get their booster shots to please get your booster shot. It is important for everyone to be protected during this time. And also want to mention that
there continues to be a lot of COVID testing going on in the community. And so we heard Councilmember Salamanca's office is offering it, and we have other sites in the area. And also know that the federal government is allowing for people to order up to 4 testing kits. So anyone who's interested, I'm going to put it in the chat so that you can order them. So thank you so much for the time, and please feel free to reach out to my office. I work out of the Bronx local office, and I'll put my information in the chat in case anyone wants additional information. Thank you.
Very much, Anita. You guys have been very, very helpful on this issue, but I need to ask one question, and that is, we have a lot of seniors that have some problems in getting to any of these sites to get their 3rd shot. What can we do to help them?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's important that everyone understands that we do have at-home vaccination, and you just have to call 311 or the 877 VAX, VAX for NYC. So it's important that everyone knows that there is access to getting the COVID vaccine at home.
So it's 877
VAX, VAX. For NYC, and I'll put it in the chat for everyone to have that information.
Thank you very much, Anita.
Thanks.
Thank you. Where am I?
Public Advocate's
Department of
Office.
Health, Public Advocate's Office, Jamani Williams. Department of Sanitation rep. Department of Fire, the Fire Department's rep. Bronx District Attorney's rep.
Hi, sorry, this is Deputy EMS Deputy Chief Farouk Mohammed here. If you have any questions or you need any stats or feedback regarding response times or a call volume, anything like that, I left my email in the chat. Feel free to submit any questions or anything like that to the email, and I'd be happy to get you that information. We could generate reports as needed as well.
And you're from the Fire Department, right?
You. Thank you so much. I know you come to my DSC meetings. Welcome to the Community Board Full Board meeting. Really nice to have you here. Thank you so much, Chief.
My pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here. And also, just so you know, I was actually on the explosion as well as the other fire, the 5th alarm fire. So I experienced all the amazing work that everybody did. And I also like to say my heart goes out to the NYPD for the members that we lost. And, you know, we're all in it together. And, you know, our prayers are with the families of those lost.
Thank you for the kind words, Chief. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Chief.
You're welcome.
Department of Sanitation. Bronx District Attorney's Office.
Good evening, everyone. Hey, Bobby. Hi, Ralph. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, CB2 residents, constituents, and board members. Greetings. I haven't seen many of you since the new year, so happy new year. A little late, but nonetheless. So first of all, I would like to say my condolences goes out to the victim of the fire, whose life was taken by the fire, and also to the constituents and the victims that were affected by the fire and that were displaced within CB2. In accordance to that, I would like to, it reminds everyone that here at the Office of the Bronx District Attorney, we have our Crime Victims Assistance Unit, and they readily provide resources to victims of crime or people who need services here in the Bronx, and they can be reached at 718-590-2115. I'll repeat that number again, and I'll also share it in the chat, 718-590-2115. On another note, I know it was mentioned earlier in the meeting about firearms on the streets, and I just actually maybe around 6:30, about an hour ago, I shared a press release with people who I have on my email blast. Some are residents of CB2, of 73 firearms that were taken off the street a college student was indicted for attempting to sell those 73 firearms to an undercover officer. So if you're interested in finding out about updates, indictments that happen here within Bronx County, please share your email address in the chat so that I can keep you abreast and updated on that. On another note, many of the constituents, residents, and board members within CB2 have my phone number. I do want to let you know, my cell phone number, I do want to let you know, my cell phone is in the process of being replaced. So if you reached out to me and haven't gotten a response, that is why. So I apologize for that. I should get a new phone within a week or so. So you can reach me at my office line, which is 718-838-7005, or at my email address, which is calderonc@bronxda.nyc.gov. I shared that earlier, but I will reshare it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christina, and thank you for that. I forgot to mention about that arrest of the gentleman with the 73 firearms. That was a great job you guys did. So whoever was involved, I take my hat off to them. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, we always work well with NYPD when it comes to things like this. And I think it's important information for the community to know that, you know, we are working hard to get these firearms off the streets. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, now, Department of the Aging and the Attorney General's office. Not hearing none. That this section.
Paula with her hand raised. I don't know if Paula has a question.
Who?
Paula.
Yes, Paula.
No, it was already addressed. The question I had. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else, Ralph?
No, not that I'm aware of. I don't. I think Do It. Is there someone from Do It on?
Yeah. Hi. This is Jesse, and I have it's not a question. I just think a clarification. You know, we were talking about fire. Are we talking about the explosion of the house or the fire that killed 17 people here in the Bronx?
I was referring, if you're speaking to me, I was referring to the explosion.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I just wanted to get a clarification. I think other people may not have understood that either.
Okay, my apologies.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Jess. And I keep saying fire because it turned out to be a fire also, but I stand corrected, and it was the explosion. Thank you. Thanks, Jess.
I also want to acknowledge that I know I mentioned about Council Member Ayala. Assembly Member Septimo also lost her grandmother recently, and I know she was on with us, but I just want to acknowledge that, offer our respects from the community board.
Thank you, Ralph. I didn't know that, but thank you for telling me. Maybe I'll send her.
I have a question for Anita.
Is Anita on?
I'm still on. How can I help you?
Go ahead, Sandra.
Yes, how come when you... Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. When they ask you to go on the post office site to order the kits, how come it says, and it's not only me, there's quite a few people in my neighborhood that say the same thing. It says that there was somebody already ordered it from that address, that they cannot send it.
So I think they're using the information from the census. Remember, this is the federal government that's sending this out. And if you're having issues, please email me and I'm happy to see how I can help you. But they're basically using the addresses that are used in the census. So sometimes if it's a multi-dwelling a building and it's not reported as a multi-dwelling, that could be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And other folks are also helping
because it's basically somebody from the... Yeah. Thank you.
Yep, I just wanted to say that there's also some community organizations helping the members in the community to get them. So I know that they started arriving yesterday. So if you haven't received one and you're interested in getting one, feel free to send me an email and I'll see how I can help you. We're also distributing them at the different locations. We're definitely having them at the district public health office, at the health department buildings, and some of the other community organizations.
And Anita, I just want to add,
Thank you.
Urban Health Plan is distributing test kits every day from Monday through Friday, starting at 10 o'clock in the morning from the 1069 Southern Boulevard location. You can go there any day from Monday through Friday. We're giving about 500 tests a day. So first come, first serve. If you want to make sure you get your test kit, you can go there at 10 o'clock, 1069 Southern Boulevard.
Thank you, Louis.
Thank you.
Thank you, Louis. With that, that concludes the business section of the elected officials report. We are now going into committee reports. Pastor John Udo Okum, are you in? Are you here?
Yes. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes. The franchise licensing and permits committee, we have 2 items which we deliberated on at our last meeting. The first one was the review of the renewal application by City Tamel that is located at 1316 Oak Point Avenue. And they are applying for beer and cider license. This application was reviewed by the committee, and it was voted for. So we need the board. Yes.
Reverend, was it voted to give them the license or not give them the license?
We voted to give them the license.
Okay, thank you. That being the case, there was the committee's report stands. Before there's any questions, I need a second on this particular item.
I second.
Okay, thank you, Sandra. Now, is there anybody that wishes to speak on this item?
We got Maggie Ortiz with her hand raised.
Maggie?
Oh, that was earlier. I had a question for Anita. Never mind.
All right.
Sorry, Maggie. I just saw it. It just came up right now. I'm sorry.
If you go to the chat, Maggie, Anita got her name on there.
I sent her a message.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody got any discussion on this motion? Not hearing none, I will run it the way we always run it. I will run it the way we always run it, and that is anybody opposing to this license. Anybody abstaining from this license vote?
Miles is going to abstain.
Miles is abstaining. Okay.
I'm gonna abstain.
Who?
Monique.
Okay, Monique, thank you. Anybody else? Not hearing none. The balance is out of the 37 the 36 that are present, only 2 abstained, 34 voted for it. Passes. Thank you. Second is, go ahead, Reverend.
So the second item that came before the committee was a new application for La Finca Bar and Grill, located at 960 East 165 or 65th Street. This establishment is located at the former Exito property or facility. So they were operating under a temporary license, and they had come before the committee last year. And unfortunately, after the business started, the their license was not approved by the New York State Liquor Authority because the committee had, or the committee had some objections, and so their license was denied, and they came back before the committee. And at the committee, we did deliberate on this license, and the committee voted to deny them a renewal of their license.
So let me get it correct. The committee voted against the license.
Correct.
Okay. So before we go, if there's any discussion on this, before we go on any discussion, is there a second on this, on the committee's request to deny?
I second.
Who's this?
Jeffrey Korn.
Oh, Jeff. Okay. Thank you, Jeffrey. All right. So now that it's second, it's open for deliberation if anybody wishes to speak on this.
Larry has his hand raised, Mr. Chair.
Larry?
Larry, you're on mute, Larry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just want to say to the community board members and the new community board members that the Finca Bar and Grill should not be on our agenda at all. It was turned down by a FLA committee meeting. It was turned down by the New York State Liquor Authority, and they back. And you don't have a regular restaurant that opens up at 3 p.m. and closes at 3 a.m. in the morning and say that there's a establishment that established a family establishment. That's a lot of bull they bring towards us, and I think we should try to see through that. If the liquor authority deny them, what give us the right to approve them? We should not have them on our agenda at all. Not at all. We need to stop this stuff from coming in our community. People that bring down our communities, people that do what they want in our community, sell liquor all night, party all night. What else they might have in their establishment? The Finca should not be on our menu at all. Thank you.
Excuse me, can I have the opportunity to respond to the member? This is Albin, La Finca owner.
You will have only 2 minutes to say something.
Well, I just wanted to say, and number one, I just wanted to say that this is no longer Éxito. And since we've took over this business, we have transformed this business to a positive business for the community. And we are a fully blown restaurant. We just not only sell liquor. We've now started opening at 10 a.m. all the way to 3 a.m. We serve lunch, we serve dinner, and we open the entire day for the community. I have worked closely with the 4-1 precinct on removing guns from the street and providing them with surveillance video. I think most of the things we've done here has been positive for this community, and I think there's a there's a misunderstanding as the old order, and the way this business operate versus how we're operating now. And if there's anyone for the 4-1, maybe they can help me out and speak to that. I also wanted to say that I am currently reaching out to a consultant company, Luminite, which they are a company that dedicates on helping small business being successful and working with the communities and working with the SLAs and so on and so forth. So, I think we deserve the opportunity to work with the community, and we are open to support this community and anything that they need. I am a member of the Latino Bars and Lounge Association, which we do phenomenal work with any of the emergency that comes up. So I am talking my heart out here because I've invested my entire savings into this business, and for this community not to give me the opportunity to show them the positive things that we can do. I mean, I've provided the community with support letter from the 4-4 precinct, which I have another business there as well. Like I say, we constantly are a huge supporter of the 4-1. We've helped remove guns from the streets. We've cleaned up this location. We have a phenomenal camera system. We've lit up the entire block. We also helped prevent the car break-ins that this community is currently facing, particularly in this entire block. I get it that the community feels a certain way as how things worked in this business before when it was Éxito, but it's no longer Éxito. And it's a full-blown restaurant with a full-blown menu that serves lunch and dinner. And obviously we have the night business, which is the bar that helps sustain the early part of the restaurant business. So I am begging and asking for this community to reconsider and give us the support that we need, and allow us to support you as a community as well.
Well, Mr. Infante, it's not up to me. It's up to the board to decide on this. And the committee did not vote in favor of you. But again, I leave it to the board to decide how they want to vote on this. I understand that you work with you, so you state that you worked with the community. My personal problem as the chair of this board is that there were stipulations that were put upon you. And the stipulations were that you would always notify us when you're having special events. And you did not do that. And you had several. Excuse me, I didn't interrupt you. So please do not interrupt me. We had several complaints about special events that you had at that location. That being the case, I know that it's not a major problem because nothing happened, but something could have happened. And at the end of the day, the person that is speaking to you now, which is me, would have had to respond to the community as to why you got a license. And I'm not here to be defending anybody. I'm just saying that that was one of maybe a few things that we could have caught that were being done wrong. So with that, I'm sorry to
Ralph, can I ask a question? I mean, Bobby, can I
Yeah.
ask a question, please?
Sure.
How long has he been open?
Larry has his hand raised.
Oh, I had my hand raised
I
too,
don't
so
know
that's
if
why.
Larry re-raised it or
I recognize Paul and then Larry.
Yeah, because I had my hand raised also,
All right,
Ralph. I don't know
go
why
ahead.
you can't see it.
Ask your question.
Mr. Infante,
Yes.
how long have you been open 10 o'clock in the morning as a full restaurant? Can I ask?
Sure. We were operating from 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. starting on June. And as I said our last meeting in the committee, our plan was to start opening earlier starting this year as I was getting the business organized. So we've started opening at 10 starting this year in January.
Okay, so do you see the pattern of the our stance as a community as to why we're not supportive? I could say myself, why I don't support your business, because you came to us stating that you were going to be a restaurant that will open at 10 and serve breakfast. And you didn't start that till recently. So to me, it looks like you only started it because you want our support, not because that was your intention. Just let me finish, please, because this is where you need to understand that the patterns that was created is not only Club Exo, the club prior to that and the club prior to that had the same pattern, had the same crime, had the same history at that location. So this is where the leeriness and the awareness of being cautious comes from with this community. So you have to understand that stance. Patterns are predictable, and when you say one thing and you're not consistent with what you say, then we have nothing to go by but what you do. Thank you.
I understand you 100% when you refer to the patterns, but I just want to say that when I first came to this community, hours have always been from 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. Since day one. And I also want to say that since we've been here, since we've managed this business, there hasn't been no crimes, no activity of any crime in our location. We take that very, very seriously. And I also wanted to say that, you know, we've have helped actually stop crime in the area.
Okay.
You know, and you know, I like I said, I'm trying to get my hands wrapped around the business. We employ many families, and as you can understand, by extending the hours of operation, and that requires a lot more payroll budget that you know we have to come up with. That's why it's extremely important that we do have the night part of the business, because that's what helps to sustain the day part of the business. This area is not a heavy foot traffic area. You know, so we have to have a balance in order to keep our staff employed and in order to continue to contribute to the community. Running a business is not an easy thing. And that's where, you know, I apologize for not sending those notifications and emails. But as you can understand, you know, that's a lot on the plate, you know, that it takes to be able to run a successful business as we have. Right, a business that has had no issues, no criminal activities, you know, and we've been supported to the 4-1 as well as the community since day one. I have opened these doors to all of you members of this community, and you know, I've put myself out there where, you know, I made myself available. If there's anything you ever needed, all you needed to do was reach out. Unlike prior owners that, you know, were never available, were never able to, you know, had no type of communication, worked against the prisons. We are the complete opposite. So, you know, once again, I apologize for not sending those notifications. And that's another reason why I am looking to hire this outside company to help us meet with some of those demands, and be able to have a successful business, not only for me and the families that eat from here, but for you guys as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Infante. I understand your statement, but still, it's up to the board to decide. Larry? Larry?
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Well, you know, Mr. Infante he has a good game plan for now, but the problem is the New York State Liquor Authority denied him. They denied him for a reason, and then we followed up and denied him also. It has to be reasons that he's being denied by both of us. That usually doesn't happen.
Okay, let me answer to that, and maybe Ralph could collaborate to this as well. The reason why
no Ralph collaborate. You tell us what happened.
Absolutely. The reason why,
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, this is Reverend John.
Can I answer, please?
Reverend, Larry asked a question. He has to respond.
The reason why, Larry, we got denied at the Liquor Authority Board was because the community wrote to the Liquor Authority withdrawing the letter of support. And because the community withdrew the letter of support, the Liquor Authority sent me back to the community, which it's why I am here, to be able to get the support of the community. And that way they could be able to give us the liquor license.
That sounds good, but you wasn't following what we requested from you from the very beginning. When we told you we needed certain things from you and for you to follow certain procedures, you did not do that.
Larry,
didn't send it. I did, yes, and I apologize once again. I did not send you guys the email that we discussed that I needed to send. But I understand one thing, guys. There's a lot that goes on in running a restaurant, and you know, we had no issues. We had no criminal activities. Yes, I apologize. It won't happen again. I'm hiring an outside company to help me with that, which is Luminite. And you know, we'll stay on top of whatever we need to stay on top of. But without the liquor license, this business will not survive. I won't be able to sustain the day operation if I can't get the night operation. Right. That's unfortunately.
All right, you respond.
I just want a point of reference, as Mr. Infante mentioned me here, and Larry. Yeah, at the behest of the committee, I wrote a letter back in July stating that Mr. Infante was not in compliance, and we withdrew our support. So,
He
and
was
we
not
have
in
a hearing-
compliance.
Huh?
He was not in compliance.
That's what I said. He was not in compliance. That's exactly what I said. And they had
Okay.
the hearing last month, or well, I'm sorry, in December. Or yeah, December was the hearing. So this is where we at now with this.
Okay. Mr. Infante, you've made your statements to Larry. There will be no more questions being asked. I will go to the vote. Everybody heard Mr. Infante's response, and I will now ask for a vote. I don't know if anybody wants to do it as a roll call vote, which I happen to believe it should be.
Mr. Chair, you have V now who raised his hand also.
Who?
V. Beyonce
Okay, hi,
Tavares.
V. I'm sorry, V.
Hi, it's okay. I just want to say this, and I know probably most people are not going to agree with me. I do know the history that's been, in this location, but I also think that Mr. Infante presents a very good case. I think that he needs to get a second opportunity. I think that he has been apologetic and he has acknowledged that he did mess up by not letting the board know. But I also think that we can't have that perception that we're going to have the same issue without giving him a fair chance. I think that this might be the business that prevents these issues from happening. Maybe setting something in place where we hold him accountable if that doesn't happen. But I think that we're focusing too much on what happened in the past and not giving somebody new an opportunity to possibly make a change. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, V. And you're right. He does make a good point in what he is stating. But as I stated, I do not control the board. The board controls itself, and we now have to go to the vote on this issue. I will now ask.
Mr. Chair, could you please clarify the vote, whether yes or B?
Okay.
Thank you, please.
The vote will go, if you say yes, you're agreeing to the committee. If you say no, then you're not agreeing to the committee. The committee has now voted and has presented to us that they do not wish to give them the license. So if you're voting yes, you are agreeing with the committee. If you're voting no, then you're voting against the committee. Or you can abstain, one or the other. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. With that, yes, who wanted to talk?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is Reverend John.
Yes.
I just wanted to add to what Mr. Alfonte said. When he came before the committee, I believe that must have been 2 weeks ago, he told us that he runs his restaurants from 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. I'm so surprised to hear him say that he's running his restaurant 10 a.m. This is some of the problems that we are having with Mr. Alfonte. He tells us one thing and he does another thing.
Reverend John, I wanted to have the opportunity to answer. I don't know if you recall, but when I came back on January's meeting, I emphasized and I mentioned.
But you did not even allow me to finish my statement.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Mr. Chairman, I'm done. Thank you.
No, John, Reverend John, I understand where you're coming from, and I believe that everybody else needs to understand where you're coming from also. So please take the floor and state what you needed to state.
I want to say that it's very frustrating for some of us who keep saying people come into our community and feel that they can do whatever they want to do. This community board has voted to deny licenses to some businesses that have been a headache to us, but the liquor authority overrules us. It is very rare for the liquor authority to deny any business a license. And some of the problems that we have with this business, I'm not saying it will not change, but if he tells us he's going to run a restaurant, he should run a restaurant. We had problems with Hexito because it was a club. And this community board said, we don't want to have a club there again. When he came before the committee, we dealt with this issue with him. We made sure we put stipulations around so that we do not have the kind of problems we've been having in this community. But Mr. Alfonte turned around and do exactly what he told us he will not do. I'm not saying he should not, this board should not give him a license, but I want him to be honest with this community board. I want him to be honest. Every incident we have in this community raises the crime rates. It affects every quality of life. If he says he wants to run a restaurant, he should run a restaurant. You want to run a club? Tell us you want to run a club. That's all. But don't lie to this community board. Don't lie to people in this community. We are not stupid. And we are not telling the liquor authority, we don't have power to stop the liquor authority from giving you a license. But at least we have the right to express the way we feel. You cannot be running businesses, advertising, without even remembering that you're supposed to inform the community board, you're supposed to inform the precinct. You don't care. You have the attitude that you don't care. And you need to acknowledge that.
Okay, Reverend. I think we all understand where you're coming from. At this point, yes, Jesse.
Yeah, I think the discussion at this point is ended. And
Yes,
I want to conclude it. You know, I heard what Reverend John said. And when Mr. Alfonte said, Reverend John said he came before the board 2 weeks ago and said he was running the operation from 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. Now, you can't come back. Now, this 2 or 3 weeks ago, you can't come back and say, well, I'm going to run it from 10 o'clock. You know, I don't want to feel like an idiot in terms of being a committee member. And I don't want somebody coming out of the community thinking that you're working with a bunch of fools. So, you, Mr. Alfonte, you know, I think you should reapply. But I think our committee decision should stand. And I'm probably I think I'm the senior member on this board. And I try to be fair to anybody who comes to this board and any minority who comes to this board that's trying to start a business, because I think starting a business gives minorities economic power and gives them a right to move policy in this country around. So I'm sticking with Reverend John because of what you told him 2 weeks ago. And that's my decision.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you. With that,
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're gonna entertain anything, but Clifford Muniz has his hand raised also.
Who?
I don't see no more hands after that.
Who?
Me, Clifford.
Oh, okay, Cliff. Go ahead, Cliff.
It's a quick question. When would Mr. Infante be able to apply again for his license, the SLA license?
He could apply He could apply tomorrow. You know, once we send the letter out, then he can reapply later on. There's no real time span from that, but you know, I think that by him reapplying, has left. First of all, he's left a bad taste in our palates now, and I think that somebody out there has got an echo. He's left a bad taste in our palates now, and I don't know how successful he would be on the next go around, but he can try again when he wishes.
Okay, thank you, Bobby. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. With that, no more questions. We will do a roll call vote. Yvonne, are you still there?
I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Yvonne, you're gonna have to do the roll call vote on this.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Everybody, so let me just explain it again. If you say yes, you're agreeing with the committee. If you're saying no, then you're going against the committee. Okay? All right, go.
all right. Can you go back to the roll call? Sorry. All right.
No, no, no.
Got
Okay.
it. Carrie Agapito.
Yes.
Delvis Austin Jr.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Evelyn Arauz.
Yes.
Okay. Raymond Arroyo.
I'll abstain.
Abstain. Love Bentecourt.
Yes.
You said yes, Love?
Yes.
Okay. Love Bentecourt. Miles Burnett.
Miles?
Okay. Holofield Conyers.
Yes.
Yes. Robert Crespo. Sorry, Paul Coverdale. Okay. Robert Crespo.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, what's wrong?
Altagracia Cruz. Julia Cruz.
I'm gonna abstain.
Abstain. Okay, so Sandra De Jesus.
I'm gonna abstain.
Abstain. Kevin Ellison.
I'll abstain too.
Abstain. Sonia Ferguson. You said yes, Sonia? Okay, Pascual Gomez.
Abstain.
Abstain. Shataria McCoy. And here. Alexandra Guadalupe.
No.
Myself, I'm going to abstain. Jesse Harris.
Jesse already stated his vote already. He said,
Yes, he's in favor. Jennifer Kelman.
Yes.
Jeffrey Korn.
Yes.
LaShawn Lindsay.
Yes.
Talia Simone Lindquist. Barbara Lopez. Roland Lopez.
No.
No. Nicholas Mario. Luis Marrero.
Oh.
No. Jonathan Martir.
Yes.
Cedric McCluster. Monique Menace.
Abstain.
Abstain. Clifford Muniz.
Yes.
Yes. Reverend Moses. Lynette Olmo.
Yes.
Maggie Ortiz. Maggie? Yes. Larry Robinson. Anthony Rodriguez.
Abstain.
Abstain. Charlie Samboy. Richard Sherman.
No.
Tamara South. I don't think she's here. Beyonce Tavares.
No.
Maria Torres.
No.
Marilyn Roten.
No.
And Pastor John Udo.
Okay, here's.
Okay, so Mr. Chairman, we had 16 yeses, 6 noes, And 8 abstains.
So it's been passed that we will not submit, we will submit a letter of not accepting the license of Mr. Fantiel. Am I correct?
As the vote goes, yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. Fantier, if you wish to resubmit, you can do so once the State Liquor Authority receives their letter from us. Thank you very much. Ralph, can you please put up the agenda? Thank you. EDC, I'm sorry, EDC, Economic Development and Municipalities.
Hello, Fernando Ortiz. Fernando Ortiz here on the line.
Yeah,
Okay. Hey, Fernando, it's Maria. Yeah, so in eco development, we had New York City EDC came, and you had some reps come from Fancy Food and Food Direct. You gave a proposal about some construction that will be done there, and so you are asking for a letter of no objection on 2 expansions for tenant spaces within the Hunts Point food FDC. What is that? Food
FDC.
FDC,
Distribution
right?
center.
Food, yes. So that's what's on the table. Fernando, I don't know if we need to give a brief overview, but
No,
they
we
came to
already
the
had
committee
that
and
at
did
the
so.
committee. We already had it at the committee. There should be no
Had it at
presentation
committee.
unless there's questions.
How did the committee vote, Maria?
The committee passed it unanimously.
Okay.
Passed both projects and the letter to give the letter unanimously.
Okay, thank you. So all I need is a second from the body, from somebody on the board to
I second.
who was that? Sandra? Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Sandra. That being the case, a discussion on this? Any discussion?
Mr. Chair, I don't see no hands raised.
Okay, thank you, Ralph. Not hearing any discussions or seeing any hands raised. All those that are against this license or these letters of support, please state so now. All those that wish to abstain, please say so now.
I abstain.
Who's aye? Monique? Okay. Monique abstains. So that means that out of 36 members, 35 say yes, 1 says no. Am I correct?
1 abstains.
1 abstention.
Abstain.
Okay. 1 abstention, I'm sorry. 1 abstention. There's no no's. So they have their letters of support. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
And Fernando, don't forget to I know you sent us the information that I had requested on jobs, but please from now on, please have individuals that are requesting anything to be part of the presentation. Okay?
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. Education Committee, Yvonne. Did you meet?
Hi guys, it's me. All right, so I'm gonna make it brief. We had a presentation from Start Lighthouse. Is a literacy program which has a really interesting concept, and I hope they can partner with a lot of our schools in the community. So basically, they started through the pandemic, and the objective of that organization is to basically support students with literacy. There's a statistic out there that if our students don't know how to read or write on grade level by 3rd or 4th grade, their trajectory is not great. They're like entered into this prison pipeline. So this organization was founded based on those statistics and the need for that literacy program in our community. So I was psyched that they came and did that presentation. And we had some other announcements that I know are attached to the packet. And I won't take up no more of your time. Good evening, guys.
Thank you. Um, thank you very much. Special events.
Good evening. I'll make this very brief. We met earlier this month. There's a lot of events that we had to postpone because of COVID. We talked a lot about some of the upcoming events that we have later on in the spring, and of course later on in the summer and in the fall. And the next special events meeting is February 7th on Monday at 12 noon. That's it.
Thank you, V. Larry, Youth Committee. Larry?
I'm sorry, Bobby. Hello, everybody. I don't have the report in front of me, so I can't give you accurate information about who gave a report at the youth services. But if you need it, you can contact Community Board 2. They can give it out to you. I apologize for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Larry. Health Committee, Louis.
Yes, good evening, everyone, again. So basically, we had three presenters, one from the New York Common Pantry, and he just came to talk about the services and the expanding in the community. They trying to locate a place inside the Hunts Point. In addition to that, we have the Children's Aid Society, and they presented, it's a website, it's called my.bronximpact.org. And basically, you can go there and access any resources in the community, like social services, health information, food, training, and etc. And then we also have Vibrant Emotional Health, which is an organization that connects individuals and family with emotional support and care. So that was basically our presentation. Next month, it was going to be the first Tuesday of the month that we have in our health committee. Thank you very much and have a good night.
Thank you, Louis. I don't have very much to report anymore about the executive committee. We discussed most of it already today during all the other committees and other presentations. So I will leave it as is, but there is the Housing and Land Use Committee.
Yes, good evening, everyone. We had a presentation on January 5th at the housing meeting by Mr. Paul Martinez from Waycrest Management, just giving us an update on the buildings that they manage in our district. Some of the buildings were the new purchase of 1018 East 163rd Street in August of 2021, 941 Hope Avenue, 923 Kelly Street, 967 Kelly Street, 830 Fox Street. We also were informed that Mr. Charles Fairstead bought 48 buildings in the Bronx, which were PRC buildings. That's 2,000 units throughout the Bronx. 720 Tiffany Street, which is the new development at the Peninsula, had the application process that's still going. They had a very successful session at the Point, I believe it was yesterday, and it was reported that there are 5 different income brackets for that location. I'm sorry, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, there was a landmarks permit applications that are, I believe, being accepted. And that was my report, basically. Have a great night.
Thank you very much, Paula. Thanks for everything. Thanks for your leadership, too. With that, we now go into any old business. Any old business? Any new business?
I have new business really quickly.
Yes.
I just want to mention that we're having renovations at Horseshoe Playground coming up, and there's going to be a Zoom meeting. Actually, it already took place. I'm sorry, but we're just getting this flyer. I just want to acknowledge that there is some renovations. I'll follow up with Parks and have them present at municipality with whatever the renovations are coming for Horseshoe Playground. So it's very exciting.
Ralph, it says the Zoom meeting will be February. Oh, that's
February 22nd. I'm sorry. Yes, February 22nd. But we're gonna still have Parks, Mike Ortiz, because this is the contact person, come in Echo, which is before that, to provide the committee an update.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other new business?
Hi, this is Sonia Ferguson. I want to say right now in the making, we're still in progress, but we're looking at having our own credit union in our area. I will give you more details when everything has been ironed out.
Who's looking, Sonia?
At Banana Kelly.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Whoa.
Thank you, Sonia.
You got Monique Menace with her hand raised.
Monique?
Yes, please forgive me. My show starts in like 10 minutes. Could you please accept my I really have to go. You guys are dope.
We're at the bitter end. We're at the very end. So just bear with us. Any other new business? Not hearing none. Announcements. There will be a fundraiser for the explosion victims. We don't have the date yet, but I believe that the councilman is putting it together with the mayor's office, and so once we have the date, we will be putting it out there. Also, for those that apply to the Yankees, please be advised that apply now. Get your applications in now, because we're going to be meeting very, very soon. All right. And for those that want to know the email address to get the application.
Okay, wait, I need my
Maggie has her hand raised.
Okay, go ahead, Maggie. Maggie?
Applications are out already?
The applications will be coming out very soon.
Okay, let me know.
Well, I'm letting you know now to be on the lookout.
As soon as not a date.
It's the app for those that do not have the address. The email address is Bronx, and spell out the word Bronx, Yankee, not Yankees with an S at the end, Yankee without an S. Bronx Yankee Fund, Fund.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. No, but somebody's in the background. I can't hear. I know you said Bronx Yankee Fund at .org.
Yes. If it's not
Okay.
it's
That's
.net.
all one word. Bronx Yankee Fund.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
For
Yes.
everyone on
Thank
here,
you.
Crespo, I'll print out the application, and if their name is in the chat, I'll send out the application.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Lewis with his hand raised.
Yes, Lewis.
Yes, I just want to announce, we don't have vaccination locations in all communities. In the community board too, we have a location that is vaccinating people from Monday through Saturday. Not only one, we have three different locations in our community board too. Please go and get vaccinated, get your booster. We just want to make sure everything's like we over. It's for Monday through Saturday in Arnoa San Juan from 9 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Can you share those locations, Louis?
Time out. Everybody's talking now. Slow down.
Say it again.
Sandra, go ahead.
Can you share those locations?
Yes, it's 1054 Simpson Street. The second one is Bella Vista at 840 Hunts Point Avenue. And if you have any more questions, you can write to my email or text me, and I will help you out, and I facilitate as much as I can so you can get vaccinated, or your family or your neighbors can get vaccinated.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. With that, roll call. Hello?
Crespo, can I say a few words? My name is Paula.
Yes, Paula.
Oh, yes, we have Paula from the mayor's office. She just jumped on.
Sorry, yes, I was at another community board meeting. I just want to introduce myself. My name is Paula Caquias. I'm with the Mayor's Community Affairs Unit. Just wanted to give you my contact information on the chat. I also want to make sure you have the Blue Point to end gun violence that the mayor announced this week. I'll also put that on the chat. Want to work with you and the community board as much as possible. And yeah, just wanted to say hello. I'll also submit our website. Please join our newsletter. We provide a lot of information, and yeah, anything else you could feel free to email me.
I don't see any information in the chat, Paul. I'm sorry.
Promoting it right now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very, very much and welcome. Hope to be seeing more of you. Thank you. With that, roll call.
I just wanted to say one thing. I had a neighbor that lived here for 4 generations of family. She owned a building right next door, just passed away this past week. Folks had thought that she was my mother. I did call her mom, but nonetheless, I sent a flyer, the obituary thing to Cynthia. If she can send it to everybody tomorrow, that'd be helpful. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll print it out and I'll send it tomorrow with everything, okay?
Beautiful. Thank you, dear.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Sorry about that, Kevin. I'm sorry.
Very much appreciated. Very nice
I
lady.
didn't get to say it. I'm sorry, Kevin.
No problem. Beautiful woman. I appreciate it.
Thank you. With that, any more announcements? Because I want to go to roll call.
No, I have something to say. Everything this COVID thing is getting people sad and sorry. Today was just a wonderful day. I had an opportunity to present to a beautiful young 16-year-old a birthday card with a small gift in it. And I think we should salute her because she talked about where she's going to go, and she's from our community. So her name is Haley. Do you guys know Haley? She is just a beautiful young lady, and I fell in love with her. So that's what I think we need to celebrate, our youngsters who are moving forward positively. And she's a beautiful young 16-year-old, 16 today. Thank you.
That's nice, Jesse.
She was 16 yesterday and my son is 20 today.
Oh, okay. Oh, and 16, she was 16 on my wedding anniversary, which was yesterday.
They cook food for us.
Where is she?
So we need to eat.
Anniversary.
Listen, Haley, congratulations on your birthday, and I'm sure you're going to do great in school.
Thank you.
I'm sure of that. You got a great mom that's going to help you out. But thanks.
Very much congratulations.
With that, can I get roll call, please?
Okay, we ready for roll call?
Roll call,
Yes.
please.
All right, great. When you hear your name, guys, let me know if you hear or not.
I hope you can hear me.
Carrie Agapito.
Here.
Elvis Austin Jr.
Here.
Evelyn Arauz.
Here.
Raymond Arroyo.
Here.
Love Bentecourt.
Yes, here.
Miles Burnett. Paula Field Conyers.
Yeah, good night, everyone.
Good night. Paul Coverdale. Robert Crespo.
Good night.
Good night. Altagracia Cruz. Julia Cruz.
Here.
Sandra de Jesus.
Miles is here.
Thank you, Miles.
Thank you.
Sandra de Jesus.
Here.
Kevin Hamilton. Thank you.
Very nice meeting everybody. Have a good night.
Good night. Sonia Ferguson.
Yeah, good night.
Good night. Pascal Gomez.
Yeah, good night.
Next page.
Next page, Ralph.
Hello.
Ralph, next page.
Hello.
Shataria McCoy Greg. Alexandra Guadalupe. Present. Me, I'm still here. Jesse Harris.
Here.
Jennifer Kelman.
Here. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night. Jeffrey Korn. LaShawn Lindsay.
Here. Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night. Talia Simone Lindquist. Barbara Lopez. Roland Lopez. Nicholas
Here.
Mario. Thank you, Roland. Luis Marrero.
Good night.
Good night. Jonathan Martil.
Here. Good night.
Good night. Cedric McCluster. Monique Menes. Clifford Muniz. Robert Moses. Annette
Good
Olmo.
night.
Good night.
Night. Night.
Good night.
Good night. Maggie Ortiz. Larry Robinson. Anthony Rodriguez.
Present.
Charlie Samboy. Next page. Richard Sherman.
Good night, people.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Tamara South. Viancy Taveras. Taveras,
I'm
sorry.
here. It's okay.
Maria Torres.
Good night.
Good night. Marilyn Roten.
Good night.
Good night. Pastor John Udu.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, everybody. And that
Need a
concludes
motion to
Our
adjourn.
meeting. I
Good night.
second.
Second.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Ralph, don't forget to grab the check. You were on longer.
Okay.
That's what I was doing, and then I got distracted. But I'm sending it to you right now. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Good night, everyone. Take care.
Good
Stay
night,
safe.
guys.
Good night,
Let me just
everyone.
take this off.
Jojo. All right. Jojo. Jojo.